Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? It's been a couple of days since I've done one of these, so I decided I'd jump on and share a few things with you. So you've probably seen, I've seen a lot of the chaos and the negativity and all the garbage going through social media and the media about all the chaos in the country and trying to push the second wave and create a lot more fear and stress for people. And so seeing all that, then, hey, hello. Then I wanted to just jump on and just give you some things from my perspective, what I understand about how the body works in terms of how to take care of yourself, strengthen your immune system, keeping your mind straight so you don't spin out into all of the negativity. So one thing that I've known, and for everybody who studies or teaches, helps people understand about natural health, is that all health begins and ends in the gut. So I don't know if you're aware of it, but 70% of the immune system is in the gut. That's quite a bit. And so putting those two together, then you could conclude that paying attention to your gut, hello Elizabeth, paying attention to your gut health is likewise going to strengthen your immune system, since 70% of your immune system is in the gut. So one thing that often happens when people are stressed out and they grab for the processed, packaged, fake, pretend food and too much animal product, then the lining of the gut is compromised. And so normally it's supposed to be really tight like this. And then from there, then the right foods and nutrients and things can be absorbed through the lining of the gut into the bloodstream. But when you have incorrect diet and primarily proteins and too much fat, too much chemicals that don't break down, then the lining of the gut, like the space in between the cells of the intestines, begins to look like this. And then you're starting to get something called leaky gut. And what happens then is things can ooze through the lining of the intestines, like this large spaces, things that are not supposed to be leaving the intestines. Primarily chemicals from the food, undigested fats, undigested proteins, animal proteins. And then what do? They start circulating in the body, getting into the blood, and that can set you up for allergies, autoimmune problems, inflammation, acidic conditions, crap and stuff that gets lined along the arterial walls, creates a lot of problems. And so that spikes or not doesn't spike, but it pushes the immune system into working overtime to try and clean up all this mess and to deal with all of the acid and inflammation. So it's not a very good condition. So something that you can do to offset that, couple of things, is really focus on foods that strengthen the integrity of the digestive tract, integrity of the intestines. So what would those things be? Well, apples are really good. Leafy green vegetables, high fiber is really good. Aloe vera is very soothing for the gut and very healing. So if you're having foods that are creating a lot of inflammation and bloat and wrong foods, then aloe vera can help soothe that, as well as slippery elm bark. Garlic is really good. Fermented vegetables are really good. One of the biggest things that support both the digestive and intestinal health and the immune system is all the gut critters, I call them. All of the friendly flora, the microorganisms that we have to have in the gut to digest our food, to maintain a good, healthy environment. So fermented foods really help that. Another thing that you can do is legumes, like chickpeas, black beans, red kidney beans, lentils. The legumes, when the body digests them and all the little critters go in there and do their thing with them, then it creates some type of a film or something that lines the intestines. That creates an environment that the good, healthy bacteria love. And so that really supports gut health, which in turn supports immune system. Another thing you can do to really support your immune system and your gut is to clean out the crap. literally clean out the colon. So whenever there's a lot of backlog, a traffic jam I call it, just think about what happens in a traffic jam. You've got all of these cars sitting there, there's a lot of exhaust, there's a lot of probably frustration, irritation, anger of the people sitting in the cars waiting to get through. Now just imagine that type of a situation sitting in your gut, in your colon. And not only does it create a lot of acid and fermentation and an environment where a lot of pathogenic critters can develop, but it also creates a situation to where emotionally you're all wound up and tense and stressed out and angry and irritated because your body's irritated. So cleaning out the colon can really help this whole thing. So what can you do for that? Psyllium husks are really good. Bentonite clay, chia seed, good quality sea salt, activated charcoal, diatomaceous earth. You can mix up a powder form of all of these ingredients, or you can get some that's pre-mixed, and then take that and just, especially the charcoal and the bentonite clay and the diatomaceous earth will really draw and pull a lot of toxins and heavy metals and garbage out of the colon to be out the back door. So those are some things that can support the gut, which in turn supports the immune system. Another thing that you can really think about in terms of both the gut and the immune system is the stress levels. Whenever you're stressed out, just think about when you're stressed, what happens, how your body responds. How often do you find your gut just tightening up? You're holding a lot of that, got dropped out. So you're holding a lot of that stress and tension and anxiety in the gut. That's what contributes to ulcers and any type of a digestive problem. There's just this stress, this constant tension of the muscles in the gut, which your nervous system as well as your immune system are going to respond to that, and your gut flora. So whenever you're looking at things in your life, the stuff on the world stage, all the chaos and nonsense that's going there, think about how you're responding to that. You know, I like to look at things like that in the outer world of my life. I look for correlations of how is my thinking, how is my energy, how contributing to this? What am I creating and manifesting? Coming from a place of empowerment, of a co-creator rather than a victim of circumstances, that things just whack you upside the head and they're done to you. What are you contributing to creating the situations in your life? And so when you look at the world stage and all the nonsense that's going on there and all the political bullshit and all of the vying for power and all of that, is there something in your life, in your personal life, that you can correlate that with that could be contributing to and stirring up the level of stress or anger or anxiety or whatever your emotions are? You know, is there a relationship between what you see out there and what your life is doing that's stirring up these emotions? Do you follow that? And so if you can get that correlation and see, well, this is what I'm feeling about this particular situation in my life that reflects the larger picture on the world stage, there's that relationship. Then you have something that you can work with. You've got some information or data of things that you can journal about, make different choices on, have conversations with, to do something in your personal situation to shift things so that they work better for you, and do some things with your emotional healing, your emotional well-being, to diffuse and to channel all of that energy of frustration, anger, or whatever it is, stress that you may be feeling, so that it has an outward expression out into your life to resolve and make something better. Otherwise, what energy will do, if it can't spiral up and out to express and expand, it will spiral down in and invert. And when that does, where does the energy go? It goes to your gut and it stews, and it creates a lot of tension and anxiety, and then you're chewing on stuff in your gut, you're holding it in. And over time, that tension, that negativity and the anger sitting in your gut is going to have a detrimental effect to the integrity and health and functioning of your intestinal tissue, of the physical organs. That's what creates disease, ultimately, is energy gets off, it stews, and it sits, and it ferments, and it kind of degenerates for sitting that way for a while, and then the physical tissues reflect it. They can't not reflect that. So rather than allowing that energy to go downward and spiral and stew inside of you, find an outward outlet for it, and doing it in a way that will produce a positive effect or result in your life, so that you're happier with whatever's going on. Because what I found is when I do that and I look for what can I change in my world right here that I have control over, and then I neutralize my tension and emotions and all the gobbledygook emotional states, then when I look at the bigger world picture, rather than getting sucked into all of that nonsense and drama, then I can see it much more with much more of a perspective, and coming from a more neutral, clear, balanced, grounded place. You follow that? So neutralize your emotions and do something what you can in your life, your personal life, because that's all you can do. That's what's the here and now. And then the nonsense out there doesn't have such an emotional pull on you. So that's why I say it's important to see if you can find that correlation between what triggers you out there and then what in your life also triggers that same emotion, so that you can start to draw that correlation. Then you can have something here in your personal life to work with. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Another thing that you can do, not only to strengthen your immune system, but hey guys, not only to strengthen your immune system, but also to ease the tension, the nervous stress, just kind of ground your energy and smooth things out, is to get outside in the sun, connect with the earth, connect with what's real. Not the nonsense on social media and in the news, but the earth. Think of that as like the earth mother grounding you, nurturing you. You know, take off your shoes and socks, put your bare feet in the dirt, bare feet in the grass, feel the sun on your face, on your skin, connect with what's real, with nature, and allow that to soothe you. So when you're in the ground, in your barefoot in the earth, you're grounding, and so there's a negative ion exchange between your body and the earth, and what that does is just calm and soothe all of the ruffly edges and the snarls and everything. Really calms and centers and grounds you, so that you can be a lot more calm, a lot more neutral. And then when you're out in the sun, getting sun directly on your skin, don't cover it up with clothes, but having the sun touch your skin, not only does it give you the vitamin D that you need to create the cholesterol and help with vitamin D production, but it also helps produce cholesterol that are used for a lot of the hormones, cholesterol-based hormones. And so the sun also helps modulate your endocrine system. Very important. So if you're feeling all crazy and your emotions are all out of whack, go get in the sun, ground yourself in the earth, connect with what's real, and that will strengthen your immune system and your sanity. Okay? So just pause for a second, seeing what you guys are saying. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Love seeing you guys. So the last thing I want to share with you guys, and just to remember, there's Think of it as a correlation between what your immune system does and what your digestive system does. They're both all about sorting. Sorting what? Your immune system, what some of the cells in your immune system are trained, they're taught or programmed to identify self and not self. So how do you define yourself? Who do you believe that you are? Who is you? What is your environment your body that makes up you? That's a big deep question we can go into. But think about that, because that's what the immune system is trained to do, to run around and look for, oh, that's self, that's okay. That cell or that microorganism is not self, so let's take it out. Okay? So there's always that sorting. Your digestive system, the intestines, when they're digesting your food, there's also sorting. So whatever you put into your throat hole, it goes down the tube, hits your intestines, and then they're like, okay, this is nutritious. That continues down the chain until the back door. There's sorting and sifting of what do we keep, what do we let go, what do we keep, what's good, what's nourishing, what's life enhancing, what do we let go and let pass out the back door. So again, that speaks to the great importance of having a very strong, tightly knit intestinal lining, of having of integrity in your lining, so that it can do that sifting and sorting. Otherwise, when there's a loose juncture of your intestinal tract, think of it as like rioters coming in to attack the neighborhood. They don't belong there, okay? And they're just going to cause havoc. So watch what you're eating. Really look at how you're eating. What kind of environment are you creating in your gut for both your your immune system as well as your gut critters? Is it a strong borders, strong boundaries that nothing passes, that doesn't belong? Correlate that with what's going on outside, out in the world with the riots. What kind of strong boundaries and barriers do you have in your own life and in your own gut? To sift and sort what belongs, what does not. What nourishes, what brings life, what does not. And then all of that does not is then released and eliminated out the back door. So one of the biggest ways that you can strengthen all of this is just asking yourself a very simple question. Does what I'm putting into my mouth nourish me? Does it bring greater life, energy, life force, nurturing into my body? Or does it detract? Does it produce an effect of inflammation, of acid, that's going to fester in the body somewhere and contribute to the degeneration of the functioning of the cells, which then is going to lead... Something keeps happening with my connection here. So think about that. Are you bringing in greater life into your body through your diet, through your food? Or are you bringing in greater amounts of death from dead foods, dead animal products that are going to rot and decay and decompose in your gut? Just the thought of that's disgusting to me. Are you bringing in nutrient void foods, packaged, processed, pretend fake foods made in a manufacturing plant owned by a corporation instead of real foods from a plant in the ground? Are you nourishing yourself, or are you bringing in things that produce a depleted, diminished state of being? Not only with your foods, but with what are you thinking, with your words, with your relationships, your interactions with people, the stuff that you watch on the media. What kind of information are you bringing in? Does it nourish you? Does it expand you and challenge your thinking? Or does it create stress and make you depressed? And then you bring all of that negativity into your gut and it sits and stews and creates a lot of issues and problems. When you look at it this way, it's pretty simple. It's either one or the other. It either brings greater life force into you, or it depletes and draws life force out of you. It can only go either of those directions. So look at what you're doing. Become aware. What are you putting in your mouth? What is the information that you're feeding your mind? What kind of relationships and conversations are you having with people? Are they depleting you? Are you depleting them? Or are you both uplifting each other and encouraging greater expansion and life force energy, light? That's what's going to feed your immune system, not just the foods, but the things that you do that don't seem related to food and yet has a direct impact on your health and your sanity and your emotional well-being. So those are some thoughts for you today. I'm glad you needed to hear that today with your sanity. So yeah, it's just such a crazy, crazy time. So I thought I'd just give you a few of my perspectives on how I approach things and what can help you too. So anyway, I would love to hear from you. What are some of the things that you do to strengthen your immune system, to strengthen your sanity? And hello, Nancy, thanks for tuning in. I also have a newsletter that I send out to my friends every week. It's juicy tips to feel good in your body. So if you like this conversation and some of the topics that I touched on here, and you'd like to hear from me every week of just a little bits of how you can improve your health, whether it's digestion, whether it's your emotional well-being, whether it's your thoughts, how you're approaching and thinking about your life, then let me know. I'd love to add you to the list, and you can receive my newsletter each week with little thoughts like that. All right, so just if you do want to receive that, just leave an emoji down below this video and I will get in touch with you. So with that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of yourself. Stay sane. Don't let the craziness get to you. And take care about what you're putting into your mouth. Do it with intention and awareness to bring greater life into your body instead of depleting it, leading to disease and death. All right? So take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you soon.